What's going on? My name's Chris, and in this video, I'm going to show you step by step how to create a certification program online from your own website that you own and control. So we're going to create this exact website. I'm going to show you how to create a certification course step by step so that you can create an online course just like this. It's an entire learning management system website. It has a student dashboard where once students earn their certificates, they can check them out, they can download them, they can share them across social media and do whatever they want with their certificates. They can print them out, they can hang them on their wall. So I'm just doing a quick download right here so that you can see a certificate I earned by completing an online course and passing the quiz at the end that gave me the certificate and 5 credit hours. I'm going to show you exactly how to build this whole system. I'm going to do it in less than an hour. All you need to do is go get yourself a copy of Lifter LMS so that you can build your certification program online. All right, so this is our starting point. We've got a basic WordPress website. We're going to be doing a nurse continuing education certification program in this example. Now, this is a basic WordPress site. You can see we have a home page and it just has some basic content on it. We have an about page and we have a blog and we have a contact page with a contact form. So this is just a very basic WordPress website. And what we want to do next to create a certification program online is to install the best learning management system for creating certification programs online, which is Lifter LMS. So what you're going to want to do is head on over to the Lifter LMS website and pick up a copy of Lifter LMS. I've actually already done that. So let's install the Lifter LMS plugin. I'm going to go to my dashboard, click on plugins, and click add plugin. And I'm going to upload the Lifter LMS plugin. So here it is right here. I'm just selecting it from my desktop, clicking install now, and activating it. And now it's taking us into the quick setup wizard. So we want to click get started now, install the required pages for the learning management system to function. I'll click save and continue. We're going to be using the United States as the default for student registrations and the United States dollar. I'm just going to click enable offline payments, click save and continue. And I will allow to get a coupon. And here in this next step, we have the option to import sample courses. I highly recommend you import the Quick Start course and check it out. It shows you the essentials of Lifter LMS. But in this demonstration on how to create a certification program online, I'm just going to start from scratch with no course content. So this is dropping me into the course builder. So I'm going to start by building my example nursing course that we're going to do a certification for and also award 5 continuing education credits. So I'm going to start building my course by giving it a title right here, and we'll just drop a description. And over here on the course area, I'm going to set a featured image for the course, which is kind of like a book cover for the course. So I'm just finding my featured image. And I'm going to drag that in right here. So there's our featured image. And I'm going to go ahead and click publish. And now what I want to do is launch the course builder to actually add some sections and lessons and content to this course. So I'm going to click launch course builder. I have my course outline already done. So I'll show you how to do a section in one lesson. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to speed things up and just build it all out really fast. So Foundations of Infection Control is the section title for my first section. And then for my first lesson, we're going to do Principles of Medical Microbiology. So I can put in the section title right here and save the changes. And then I'm going to get a video for this lesson. So you can host your videos on places like vimeo.com. I highly recommend that. It's probably my favorite place to host videos, and you can make them private so they're only ever playable on your website. So I'm going to drop in my video, and you can see if we were to view this lesson, you can see our courses coming together, and this is the content of the first lesson right here. So I'm going to go back to the course builder, and I'm just going to build the rest of the course really fast. All right, so we've added our last lesson, and we're actually going to do an exam on the last lesson, which we'll show you how to set up in a little bit. And while I'm on this last lesson, I'm just going to add the lesson video I have for the last lesson. So I'm just grabbing my video link, and we'll drop that in. And we'll click Save Changes. And now let's go look at our course on the front end of the website. So you can see we've just built an entire course. You can see the lesson videos are in here, and students can mark complete as they go. If you're using our advanced videos add-on, you can actually require your learners to watch the whole video before they continue. You can also use the Lifter LMS prerequisites feature if you want your students to go through all these lessons in order. But let's go to our final exam. Here we have our final exam lesson that we want students to take before they can get certified. You don't have to do examination if you don't want to. We're actually going to set up a really simple, automatically graded multiple choice quiz to make sure that they got all the concepts and learnings from the content. So let's do that. I'm going to jump back to the course and head into the course builder. And I'm going to go to that last lesson, and I'm going to click Add Quiz. So what we're going to do here is we're going to create a new quiz. And in this quiz, we'll just say in the description, this is your exam for certification and earning 5 credit hours. We're going to want a passing grade of 80%. I'm not going to build the entire quiz. I'm just going to demonstrate one automatically graded multiple choice question set. So we'll just add that. So I'm going to select multiple choice. And then for our quiz, what I'm going to do is start adding some questions. So we're going to do, since this is a quiz for nurses about preventing infections, how should wounds be kept to prevent infection? And we'll just add some choices. Wash hands before touching. Wear PPE, personal protective equipment. And we'll add another answer in the multiple choice, which is change bandages regularly. And we'll add one more, which is all of the above. And all of the above is actually the correct answer. So we'll set that and we'll click Save Changes. So now let's look at our course again. And I'm just checking this last lesson. You can see we've got our quiz there. I'm just going to double check that that quiz is published. So we'll launch the course builder again and edit the quiz and click this toggle up here to make the quiz, make sure the quiz is live and published. So I'm going to click Save Changes. And then we're going to view our course again. So you can see there's a quiz here. It's noted on the syllabus. And now we're going to be charging for our continuing education courses. So when you create a certification program online, a lot of people and organizations and companies are doing that to make money, providing professional development training or any kind of certification. So let's edit this course. And we can go down to the bottom here to this access plan area here. So we're going to do a one-time payment for a fixed period of time. So let's say we're going to charge $200. We'll title the plan Individual Instant Access. And we'll click Save All Plans. And I'm going to click Save up here. And if we view our course, you can see we have the access plan set up there. I must have accidentally typed in 3 cents, so we'll fix that real quick. And then set up our payment gateway so we can actually collect money through this website. So I'm going to edit the course and go to access plan and fix that to $200. And their access expires after 1 year. Since we're basically selling a certification and 5 credit hours that are good for 1 year. So I'll click Save All Plans again, click Save, and then let's head back over to WordPress and go to Lifter LMS, add-ons and more. And in this example, I'm using the Lifter LMS Infinity Bundle plan, which gives me access to everything. So these are all the add-ons that add additional functionality to your site. I use the Aircraft Page Builder here as an example to make it easy to build out the home page with some pre-designed elements. But what we want to do here is focus on the payments. So the most popular form of payment processing is powered through Stripe. I'm going to click Install, and we're going to activate that one. So it's installed, and we'll activate. And that's going to allow us to take credit card payments on our site. And you basically just have to connect your free Stripe account, which I'll show you how to do in a second. And Stripe just charges you a very, very small percentage for processing the transactions. While we're here on the add-on screen, I am going to install and activate Lifter LMS PDFs, which allows us to create certificates that can be downloaded as PDFs. So your students can print them out, attach them to an email. You can download them as the site owner and so on. So I've got that installed. I'm going to activate it. And we're going to do one more while we're here, which is groups. So let's say we were selling this nurse training course to hospitals who were going to invite 20 nurses in. So this allows for group management and group e-commerce. So I'm going to install groups, and we're going to activate that. And then let's just jump over to the payments. If we go to Lifter LMS settings and go to checkout, down here, we want to activate the Stripe integration. So I'm going to click Enable Stripe, And I'm actually going to put it in test mode right here. So we can test it out without it being connected to a real account. And to connect your Stripe account, all you have to do is click this button. And you can, if you're already logged into Stripe and have Stripe, you can connect your account or create a new account right from here. But I'm just going to demonstrate this in test mode for now. So we've got test mode enabled, and we're going to enable save cards so that when somebody uses a credit card on the site, their information is stored for future purposes. That is all handled by Stripe, not your website. And Stripe has all the compliances and protections needed for that. So that's all set up for the payments there. So now when we go to our site, and let me add courses to the menu so we can more easily find them. So we're going to click on Edit Site. And we're going to want to work in this area right here in the header. So I'm just going to the area I want, which is the navigation. And we want to add page link. So we want to add the course catalog. I'm just typing courses. So there's course catalog. And I'm actually going to rename it to just courses. I'm going to put that after the about. And I'm actually going to remove the blog from the menu. So we'll save that. And then for this call to action button, I'm actually going to rename that to dashboard, the student dashboard. And that's just, we want to link to the student dashboard that Lifter LMS has, which is just at /dashboard. And just click that and save. So now we've updated our menu. So when we go to our site, you can see, if I go to the courses, you can see our courses here and ready to go. If I go to the student dashboard, my user doesn't have anything yet, but this is where somebody would go to get their certificates and access their courses. So if we go to the course, and you can see, I can enroll now for $200. And this is where the user both creates their account and enters their credit card information right here to complete their purchase. But before we do that, let me show you how to set up the group access so that in this example, a hospital could buy this training for all of their nurses. I'm going to click on course. And we're going to add an additional access plan. So I'm going to click add new plan, group access. And we're going to title this hospital group access. So this is per seat pricing. I'm going to charge $200 per seat. It's a one-time payment. It is used for group enrollment. And I'm going to allow the hospitals to select how many seats they want between 2 and 1,000 seats. And then the access expiration is it expires after 1 year. So I'm going to click Save All Plans. Click Save up here. And now when we view our course, you can see that a group buyer come here, and let's say they wanted to get, let's call it 20 seats. And you can see how the price is updating here. They're going to spend $4,000 for their access. And the way this works is The hospital person checking out here is going to be the administrator of the group. They can also assign other managers and invite team members or nurses in this case into the program. So you can see this is a $4,000 checkout right here. So we've got our course set up, we've got our e-commerce set up, and now what we want to do is actually add the certificate aspect of our site. So let's go to the dashboard and create our certification. Because if you're going to create a certification program online, the end result is going to be an actual certificate that a student earns. So I'm going to click on certificates here and click add new certificate template. We'll give it a title. So our course, I'm just getting the name here, is infection control. And then we'll just call it certificate. And this is not going to print anywhere. This is just so I can find this in my system when I'm looking for this certificate template. The actual content of the certificate goes right here. So I'm going to click Save Draft. And we'll jump into the certificate itself and start building that out. So we'll use this text here. Certificate of achievement. And you can say whatever you like in the certificate. So one cool thing you can do here is add in dynamic information. So I actually don't want to use this user display name. I'm going to use a different piece of dynamic data. So if you look here, we have these merge codes. So this is where you can merge dynamic content. So I'm going to do the student first name right there. And then we'll put a space in there. And we'll do the student last name. Just clicking insert. And then for the, the content below their name, we'll insert for completing 5 credit hours in the name of the course. And that's looking pretty good. I'm actually going to create a little more space right here. Instead of the actual site title, I'm actually going to put a real signature in here. So let me open up the editor here so I can find where I'm looking for. So I'm right here. I'm actually going to add an image before that. So I'm just doing / and then I'll add an image. I actually have a signature on my desktop, so we'll add that in. And then we'll actually delete out the site title here. So delete that out. And then let's try to get these a little more lined up. So after this one, I'm just going to hit enter. And then I'm actually going to put in spacer and kind of line up those lines there. So this, signature, I'll make it a little smaller and also center it. Kind of line these up. So this is a pretty cool aspect of certificate design. And just to look, at the merge codes again, there's a lot you can put in here. So for example, we've got the earn date on our certificate. If you need a certificate ID, you can add that in, which will generate a certificate ID for your students. We even have an add-on called Custom Fields, where you can collect custom information on registration, like their hospital name or something like that, and also print that dynamically to the certificate as well. You can also change the background. This is the default background. But if I wanted to, I could set a different background image. I have one on my desktop here. So this is just an example of another background. And with the Lifter LMS graphics pack that comes with Lifter LMS, you've got hundreds of certificate background images to choose from. So I'm just going to tighten it up just a little bit, remove a little bit more space. And our certificate is good to go. So I'm going to click Publish. And let's view it. So this is kind of like a preview. So that's what our certificate is going to look like. Because I'm logged in as me, it says me, Chris Badgett, right there. But now what we want to do is we want to set up the automatic certificate generator system in Lifter LMS that's going to allow for this certificate to be automatically generated when the student completes the course and passes the final exam. So we'll go back to our WordPress dashboard. And if we click on engagements right here, we're going to create a new engagement. And this is where we create the certificate generator that's going to happen automatically. So we'll just give this engagement a name. So I just put the name of the course and the word certificate. So the next thing we want to do is create the triggering event. So we want this to happen when a student completes a course. We're going to select the course. This is the course. And what do we want to do? We want to award a certificate. And then I'm going to select the certificate template that we just created. So I'm going to hit Publish. And now that is set up and good to go. So let me show you what that looks like from my side when a student buys the course, finishes the course, and earns the certificate. So if we go to the front end of the website, I'm going to go to Courses. And just as an example, I'm going to enroll myself in this course. So I'm going to click Enroll Now. It's asking for some information. It already has my name because I'm already logged in, so I'm kind of cheating a little bit. But a user would have to enter their information. And again, you can show, you can collect custom information here if you want to, using the Lifter LMS Custom Fields add-on. And you can also remove fields if you want it to be even simpler. And there's my $200 purchase. Because Stripe is in test mode, it gives me a fake credit card number I can use here. So I'll just put that in. And then you just have to put an expiration date that is in the future. 12/28. And then you can put in whatever information there. I'm going to click Buy Now. So what that's doing is it's taking the payment. You can see I've just enrolled in the course. So I'm going to click Get Started and watch my content. And I can complete lessons as I go. Again, if you're using the Lifter LMS Advanced Videos add-on, you can require students to watch the whole video. But now I'm just going to complete all the lessons because it's waiting for that to give me the certificate, and I'll just run through that real quick. Okay, so here I am on the final lesson. This is the exam lesson.
During the exam,
and it's time to take the quiz. So we're down here at the very last lesson, and we need to get at least 80% to pass this quiz and then ultimately earn our certificate. So I'm going to click Take Quiz, and now we can see what the quiz system looks like. I'm going to click Start Quiz. And as a reminder, we just did one simple multiple choice question, but you can do as many questions as you like. There's 13 different question types. You can do manual grading. There's also an assignment system if you want to add assignments, but we'll just do this one multiple choice question and answer all of the above. Click complete quiz. And you can see right here, I passed the quiz, I earned a certificate. I can click that and view it. Let's click that and see what happens. So there's our certificate that's been awarded. So we can click download right here. And you can see we have our certificate. So good for 5 credit hours. We could also add information on here like this certificate is valid 1 year from the issue date or whatever. There's a lot of nuance and detail we could add. But that's our certificate. We can also, as a student, choose to enable sharing. And what that does is that gives us a shareable URL that we can then take this certificate, this link. It's basically when I click copy shareable link, it's copying the link up here that I can then share to social media, put in an email, put on my website as a certificate of accomplishment or wherever I'd like to link up my verified certificate. So if we go back to the site, you can see here we've completed this course. And if I go over to the student dashboard, you can see it's starting to populate with information. I've got my course here. So if I didn't finish it all in one setting, I could find it in my student dashboard and pick up where I left off. I can also view my certificates here. So I can click here, view my certificate at any time. And that is how you create a certification program with Lifter LMS. So if you're looking to create a certification program online, it can be easily done on a WordPress website. We've walked you step by step exactly through how to do that. If you have any questions, just reach out to us at Lifter LMS. We're happy to help, and I wish you all the best on your online certification program, whether you're doing it for continuing education or creating a niche certification to help people get jobs or keep their jobs. There's all kinds of reasons to do certificates. There's also a link below this video where we have a full article that goes into more detail about creating a certification program online. So check that out. Smash the like button if you like this video, drop a comment, and reach out to Lifter LMS if you have any questions. I wish you all the best on creating your certification program online.